Hi, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hey, how you doing? My name is Ash. I am a makeup artist and a book lover, and today's video is going to be a first impressions with a new to me foundation. The foundation in question is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I have this in the lightest shade, which is 10 Fair Cool. We'll put this to the test to see if it's actually light. If you happen to catch my foundation ranking, you know that sometimes it's really hard for brands to do a very light shade. So I will be putting this to the test today to give you my first impressions. I'm currently unsure if I can do a wear test because it is after 3 p.m. I got a really late start to filming today, but I want to give this a fair shot, so I'll try to wear this as long as possible. And maybe I'll just film this in 2 parts, one today and one tomorrow, where I try it again tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to zoom you in a bit and we're going to apply this. I'm not going to put on a primer, but I am going to moisturize because I like to moisturize before putting anything on my face. So I'm just going to be using the calming moisturizer from MZ Skin, and then we'll get started. So while this moisturizer sinks in, I'm going to talk a little bit more about my skin type, my skin issues, and a little bit more about this foundation. So I have normal to dry skin. It's more on the dry side, especially getting into cooler weather. Not that it's super cool when I'm filming today and it feels like I'm wearing a blanket. It is what it is. I wouldn't say that I typically have acne prone skin. It is more hormonal when it is around my time of the month. So you may see a couple breakouts on my face, and that's because it was that time of the month. I have severely simplified my skincare routine, so I don't use a ton of stuff on my face. I wash my face, I moisturize, I'll use an eye cream when I remember, and honestly my skin has been so much better since I stopped using all the exfoliants and serums and everything. I'll use them occasionally when I have some issues going on, but for the most part my skin's been cooperating with me. So a little bit about this foundation. This does come in 36 shades. So there is a wide range of shades for those who may be on the darker spectrum versus the lighter spectrum and everything in between. So it's really great that e.l.f. has done a wider selection with their shades. This retails for $8, so that is a steal of a deal. And this says it is a long-lasting hydrating liquid foundation that delivers just right medium buildable coverage and a satin finish, which sounds wonderful. I've definitely been gravitating more towards like tinted moisturizers, skin tint, stuff like that, but this sounds like it might be a good like in between. We'll see. And you can apply this with either a brush or a sponge. I always go in with a sponge, so that's what I'm going to be using today. And this says it's good for dry, oily, and combination skin, so good for everybody apparently. So let's just go ahead and get started with this. So I'm gonna first just do a little there just to see how well this matches. We'll see if that actually turns out being cool, but it does seem like it's going to be light enough, and it seems like it is a pretty good coverage. So I'm going to just do a little bit all over. Hopefully that's not too much, and I'm just gonna go in with the sponge. Right off the bat, that is blending very easily, and I do feel like I may have put a little bit too much on because it feels like a little bit would go a long way. I hate getting by my nose. It is so annoying. Shade match, I will say that's a good shade match for me. Okay, so basically there's half of my face done. Obviously I still have that going on, but I really like this. It is not clinging into any sort of dry patch, which I know I have some on my face. I know I do, but it is actually satin-like. It looks kind of like my skin. It blended in so easily. Is this gonna be a new favorite? This might be a new favorite. Honestly, if this lasts on my skin, this may beat out my About Face foundation. I'm almost shocked by that. Shade match is good. I will say I have had trouble with e.l.f. Cosmetics in the past with their lightest just not working for me. I think this works. I'm gonna test the claim of buildability. I just wanna see if it covers a little bit more right in here. Everywhere looks really good. I could honestly get away with just that one layer, but I just wanted to see if it builds. I think it does, just a little bit. I think it would build better with a brush, but with a sponge, it's doing its job. Obviously, you get more coverage when you use a brush versus a sponge. I just never like how brushes look with foundations on my face. Could be because I'm using the wrong brushes with the wrong foundations, but... And this is more of a sponge issue that I'm having versus a product issue. The sponge is just leaving patches. because it's not the greatest of sponges. Ooh, I am really liking this. Hopefully you can see how well this is looking. I think it looks phenomenal. It looks great on my forehead. Usually my forehead is a texture nightmare. That looks so good. My upper lip is also an issue. Also looks good. I love this. I'm really liking this. I know I'm like late to the game with trying this, but if this lasts, game changer for me. So what I'm going to do now is finish the rest of my face. I'm going to do very basic base makeup because I have another video to film after this, but I'm so happy with that. I hope like all of my products play nice on top. So I'm using my Mert bronzing stick, the bronzing powder, milk concealer, 2 powders because I'm extra, 2 blushes because I'm extra. Do I want to do faux freckles today? Why not? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be back to show you how it all looks together, but as of right now, very impressed. Very impressed. Okay, I just finished with my creams, my concealer, and just powder under my eyes, but I want to give you a view of how this is looking before I do my powder. And I solely powder my face lightly only because I personally don't like the feeling of my face being sticky, which it doesn't feel like overly sticky, so I think I'm just going to do a very minuscule amount of this, just like in the center. I don't get oily. I kind of just don't like to be shiny in the middle, so I'm just going to take a little bit of my Kosas powder and just very lightly, basically just all down my center and a little bit down here. I'll leave the cheeks kind of more satiny, which I really like the finish of this. I will say when I went in with my Mert bronzing stick and my Colourpop liquid blush, I did have to go back in with a little bit more of this, but I think again that was more of a brush issue than a product issue. It just kind of like I had to put a little bit more foundation on. But I am loving this so much right now. It is blowing my mind. I honestly didn't think I would like it as much as I do like right off the bat, but as long as this like lasts throughout the day, I'll be set. I guess I'll just continue doing my makeup with you. So this is the Flower Beauty Heatwave bronzer. I'm just going to just tap that on. I'm really just using this to try to use it up, but like I swear I'm not making a single dent on this, and I've been using it almost every single day for like a month now. Well, not every single day because I don't technically wear my makeup every day. And for blush, I have this blush from Colourpop. It is swirled. I'm just going to gently swirl that on. I'm going to go in with my Freck. I actually was supposed to do that before my bronzer. Totally forgot. So I'm just going to do kind of just a couple dots. I don't want to be overly freckly today, I don't think. And then for highlight, I have my Twilight shade from Unearthly, which I'm just going to tap right on top. It's more of a sheer base with just more sparkle. But I am loving my base right now. I'm gonna just quickly finish off with a setting spray, and then I gotta finish my brows. I'll be back when I finish my eye makeup, but I am so impressed with this. And yes, I use setting spray when I try out foundations because I always do. Like, I'll be honest, I understand why people say to test out these products just by itself to see if it's worth it for that, but are you really just using this by itself? No. I mean, you could be a person that only uses that, but I think a lot of people, they try it with moisturizers, with primers, with setting sprays, because I think you personally should know how makeup lasts on your face, and you want to ensure the steps that something that you're trying is going to work with the steps that you're used to. Welcome to my TED Talk. I'm using a setting spray. So I'll be back in about an hour to give you another view of how this makeup is going after an hour and eyeshadow and all that. So I'm very happy with this so far, just saying. All right, and here is the finished look all together. It is about 5 o'clock now, so it's been just over an hour since I applied it, and this looks still fabulous. I did get a little bit of fallout using the eyeshadow that I did, but that was my fault. So if it looks a little funky around my eyes, it's not this, it is everything else. But I gotta say, I am very happy with this. I am making the executive decision. I'm gonna also try this out tomorrow and try to wear it for longer. But side note, tomorrow is the 11th. I am working an overnight shift at work, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not wearing this at work. It'll be off before I go to work at 10 o'clock at night. I will try to apply this a little bit earlier and see how long I can wear it, but I am also gonna be filming some other videos tomorrow, so you're gonna see this in conjunction to maybe a primer that I'm trying out, because I got a makeup collection to try out. So I'm going to be trying this again tomorrow, so I'll be able to give an even further in-depth review of this. But so far, I really like this. I am very happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and wear this for the next couple hours, and I'll see you in a second, and it'll be a new day. Alright, so it's the next day, so I'm going to be trying out this foundation again, and I gotta say, I was very impressed with it last night. I took off my makeup around midnight. I was up late editing, and it looked fantastic. I technically can't do a wear test today because I have to do an overnight shift at my job. So it's noon now. I should be sleeping, but YouTube comes first. And I am trying out a primer because I'm in the middle of filming a bunch of videos. So I'm testing out the new Wet n Wild Nightmare Before Christmas collection. So I'm trying out the sticky primer with this. So I have high hopes with that. So without further ado, let's just get into trying this out again. But obviously with the primer, I did go in with the same moisturizer, so fingers crossed that this works. And like I said, I really liked how this looked yesterday. Oh, it was just so good. And the fact that this is $8, obsessed. And I'm just gonna go in with a sponge again. And again, it's just blending out so beautifully. I will say when it comes to foundations, I have a love-hate with the like grippy primers. Sometimes they work very well for me, sometimes they just screw everything up. This one seems to be doing okay. I'm not seeing any issues popping up, but I did use a little bit less than I usually do. And I think that actually might be my issue. I use too much. I am seriously impressed with this. I love the shade of this. I do typically have a hard time finding my shade with e.l.f. Cosmetics, but with this one, I'm loving it. I will say I think I put about the same amount as I did yesterday on, and I think with this primer, a little bit goes a long way. That's my thought. I'm obsessed with it. Okay, I'm just obsessed with it. I know I look a little crazy since I don't have anything else going on, but I love this so much. I am just so happy with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup, which is gonna be in the Wet n Wild Nightmare Before Christmas video, which I think is going up after this video, so you get a little preview of that. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish off because there is creams and powders and weird lip things. So I will jump to that and be right back. All of my base makeup is done, and I gotta say I'm very happy with how this foundation is holding up, and I'm putting it through the test today with testing it with some new products. And I did do setting spray, and I gotta say I am just super impressed with this. My base looks so good, even with all the powder that I threw on top and the setting spray and everything I did. It just looks so good. I did screw up a little bit on my faux freckles, but overall it looks so good. I will say I feel like it may be settling a little bit into my lines around my mouth a little bit, and that might be from this primer because that sometimes happens with the sticky primers, but overall I'm impressed with it. So I am going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll do a check-in a little bit later before I take a nap. I'm not going to sleep in this makeup, but I am going to wear this for a couple hours and then see what happens. So I may not be able to nap. I just never nap. Okay, I'm calling it. I am obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with this. It is so good. So good. So it's only 4 o'clock, so the makeup's only been on for about 4 or 5 hours. I don't remember when I started, but I'm calling it quits because I need to take a nap and I want to take off all this makeup. But I think that this is my new favorite foundation. It is so beautiful. I'm definitely going to be wearing this more often, and I am just so impressed with it. So very impressed with it. Obviously, that's my final thought. I'm impressed with it. I love it. I will be using it. I will say when I use the primer that I used today, it is kind of breaking apart in here. And it didn't do that yesterday, so I know it's the primer. So something to keep in mind for not only you, but for me. I need to remember that I had an issue with the primer with this, but everywhere else looks really great. Like even around my lips where I took off my lipstick, it still looks great. Usually that gets all like fudged up. So I'm very happy with this. So let me zoom you out and just wrap up this video. Alright, so I know it's been a whirlwind of 2 different days of filming, but I gotta say that is definitely my new favorite foundation. So if you've tried this foundation, let me know what you think of it. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, I think it works fantastic for me and my dry skin, and just so good. So good. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. So any makeup details or any other details or whatever is going to be in the description below, so make sure you read that if you're interested in anything. But I think that is everything. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. It would make my day. e.l.f. Cosmetics, if you see this and want to add me to your PR, I would forever love you. Just please don't send me the Tinder thing because I'm married happily and Tinder's just weird. And if you want, you can follow me on my other socials. I am artistryxashh everywhere. And if you want some book content, I am Ashley with 2 H's that reads on TikTok and Instagram. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.